is a thrifting crisis flaring up, and no, it has nothing to do with thrifts not being able to move product through the door, because if there is one business or one thing that will never see a shortage, it is thrift stores. People think that because of the rise of Depop sellers, it means thrifts have no other choice but to raise their prices in order to keep up with making sales. You could make the argument that as the second-hand clothing market grows, thrifts see this and mark their prices accordingly. However, I don't really feel like that's what's happening here, or at least that's not the entire truth of the matter. Everybody globally is feeling inflation. Just take turns. Taking turns just trying to make water from a rock. You can't do it, babes. And thrift stores are just another example of businesses that take advantage of their customers wallet-wise. Oh, you don't believe me? The Salvo's website here in Australia prices clothing at near on recommended retail price. That is a problem. Take this Killstar dress, a well-known gothic brand. It's secondhand and is being sold for $45. It really wouldn't surprise me if somebody was employed to check other listings on eBay, Depop alike, and to list the dress for $45, because this dress too is being sold for $45 on Depop. So maybe the people have a point. These Shein jeans priced at $19, brand new on Shein's website, being $27. I really had to prove a point here, being that thrifts aren't pricing things the way they should be for the less fortunate, because thrifting isn't for the less fortunate anymore. Definitely not even an option for people anymore who had no options to begin with. I mean, why would Goodwill be selling paper towel and toilet paper that's probably been donated from Betty's estate for any amount of money? Where is the goodwill in that, Goodwill? Why are items like this just not placed in a basket at the front of the store so that a person who is really in need can just grab it and go? I promise you, Goodwill does not need the extra $2.49 that they are selling this for. And hey, if you thought that the Goodwill greed wasn't enough, they are dead ass selling rocks they've taken from some poor cunt's lawn. The main issue at hand here isn't the fact that Goodwill is selling trash for pennies, rather that the employees of these greedy corporations can't believe some of the prices of the stuff they sell themselves. TikToker Thrifting Treasure had the unfortunate experience of going into a thrift asking for the price of a pair of Vans, mind you, that were behind the counter, which means if they are behind the counter, it must mean that they're valued at quite a bit, right?
I can see those Vans shoes, top right. The aliens, yes. Please.
Oh, where's okay? The price is
Don't scare me.
over 50.
The bottoms of those Vans are worn, and they're not even worth all that much secondhand to begin with anyways. They're not rare, they're not vintage, and even then, like, rare and vintage prices are just they're just fucking Toy Story Vans. Maybe if they were some Hypebeast Supreme Vans, it'd make a bit more sense to them being behind the counter so that nobody steals them, which is crazy that thrifts even have this idea that people are just gonna come in and thrift, and then like, no, we have to keep people from doing this. Do you guys realize that your entire business model is built off of the backs of donations itself? You guys get free shit. So, I mean, personally, I just don't care if you steal what was literally a donation. Of course, you could make the argument that that's quite crappy behavior, especially if it's a charity shop. But, a lot of these charity shops, yeah, the profits go straight directly into the CEO's wallet. So if you think you're supporting charity or you think you're doing something good, sometimes you're not. And it's ironic because only just a couple of months ago, I was in a thrift with my dad and we were just browsing around, just looking at things, having a good old chat. And that is when we both are shocked to each other. We look at each other like, are you joking? Because there was a security guard in there. Why is a security guard in a,
Woo, you scared me. Okay, I'll pass on these. They're cool though. Oh my God! Woo.
You know,
I'm sweating over here.
yeah, their stuff is.
Yeah, they're getting a little wild.
Everybody says that.
So not only were these vans $100, but I mean, of course, the employee is going to sympathize with the customer, because could you imagine the plethora of people that come into that thrift and she's constantly hearing every 10 minutes or so, God, man, these prices are outrageous. Why don't you put the prices down on some of these things, miss? Wow, this thrift is so expensive. I hate you. By the way, if you take your anger out on employees like this, I hate you. They literally have no source in the game whatsoever. People need to put food on the table for their families too. What is she supposed to do exactly? If she brings this up to the higher ups, they're probably just going to fire her for even wasting their precious time. Which brings me to my next point. Over the past week, a tweet went viral with a Twitter user showing a picture of a pair of jeans priced at $39.99. This sparked up an entirely different conversation, as opposed to people saying it's Depop resellers' fault that thrifts are the way they are currently. Thrift stores exist to raise funds for the charities that run them, not to give people easy access to cheap clothes. Okay, so that's why the president and CEO of a Goodwill in North Georgia was reportedly compensated with $707,000. Whilst yes, thrifts do exist to raise funds for charity, I mean, really, come off it. It's like this person is disregarding thrift's reputation for being the only option that people may have to, I don't know, buy clothes, buy things that they just can't afford brand new. With, I don't know, providing the less fortunate with affordable options. Now, obviously, that just cannot be happening at this moment, given inflation, the housing crisis, just everything. The financial crises that we are currently suffering as a planet, as a whole planet, my guy. There is no way that anything is affordable for anyone anymore. So when everywhere else are raising their prices, best believe your Goodwills, Salvation Armies, and thrifts alike will do the exact same thing. There is an argument to be made that thrifting has become more popular than ever before, with people who are banked up going into these stores and buying up all the quote-unquote good stuff. This can be quite frustrating for the people who go thrifting, as they have no other options. They have no other cheaper alternatives to buy clothes, to buy, say, like pots or toys for their kids. And going even further, I remember that there was a time people looked down upon those who had to go to thrift stores and buy what they needed. But because it's cool now and because it's trendy all over TikTok, it seems like people are either ignoring that fact or just forgetting about it as a whole. Y'all privileged kids thought thrift shopping was nasty 5 years ago, but now that's where y'all shop at, making legit Goodwill raise its prices. Can y'all save some clothes for the low income instead of overbuying and selling it for double plus? Good for the environment, but y'all ugly. That tweet was from 2020 and it still holds some truth today, and that was almost 4 years ago. Can you believe that? 2020 being almost 4 years ago has completely ruined my night. The people who tend to overconsume the most are rich folks, people with money. These are the people who will go into thrifts, drop a band on some clothes that'll just sit in their wardrobes, collect dust. They'll never even look at them until it's 5 years down the road and they need somewhere else to store the that they overconsume, and then the band that they dropped on those clothes are just gonna end up back at the thrift anyways, you know? Because for many people, partaking in the thrifting haul thing is just trendy for them. Take TikTok influencers, for example. Their 10 pairs of pants haul was cool for the hundreds of thousands of TikTok likes, but as soon as something else is on trend, that shit can go in the bin. It will probably, most likely, will end back up at that very thrift. For example, the come thrift with me whilst making sure she puts a Louis Vuitton bag right in our faces so that we understand that thrifting is just a novelty for her, right? Not necessity. And you don't have to be shopping out of necessity at a thrift, because that's kind of like alienating an entire group of people who shop at thrifts exclusively. They want to leave a good carbon footprint on this earth. They want to recycle clothes and give life to clothes that have no life. But the problems arise when certain thrift stores of certain locations may be aware of resellers coming through often, buying the stock at such little price but making an exceptional profit for it. So then they're looking at that like, we can do this shit too. What's stopping us, Goodwill, from marking these what we'd usually mark $10 vans to $100? Because we can. They think people will pay for it, but they won't. But don't you get them panties in a twist either, babe, because reselling is only just a small percentage of why thrift prices are absolutely insane right now, and everybody is seeing it. Everybody is feeling it. If you thought that thrifting wouldn't be affected by everything that is going on in this world, you would be wrong. Even inflation is a, yes, very small but prominent percentage in why thrift prices are just going through the roof at the moment. It's just not the entire reason why thrift prices are out of control. Corporations have found out that they can charge through the ass for whatever it is they sell. Even, yes, thrift stores. The way thrifting even exists is based off of the goodwill of people donating their expensive or inexpensive items to a facility that wants to take that on board, maybe for a profit, maybe for charity. But this business model operates solely on the goodwill of a person to donate their things for free. And then these thrifts will take these things for free, then go ahead and sell them at whatever price they whip out their ass that day. What reason is there to be pricing a fucking Garfield plushie for $25 or $20 for a faded Harley Davidson shirt that looks worn the out by your Uncle Dave, who's always under a car and just fell asleep on the couch with a beer in his hand? I can smell it from all the way over here. What the hell? Or what about another thrift store caught selling toilet paper just because it has Disney wrapping? I don't care if a roll of toilet paper was printed with real dollar bills. I'm not buying it from a thrift. Not for any amount either. I don't even care if it was a cent, a penny. No. I pay $10 every fortnight for 20 rolls of toilet paper. Now, I'm no expert in toilet rolls, okay? So maybe I'm paying too much for toilet paper. Maybe I'm paying too little. Who knows? But at least it's still in its original wrapping. At least it's never been touched before, to my knowledge. Now, why the does this thrift shop have this with dirty poopy hay still? No. The real question is, who the thought it was a good idea to donate a dirty poopy hay cage to anywhere? A thrift? Like, do these people have any working brain cells, man? I have donated clothes before in the past, and I will always make sure to wash them before I donate them. Like, it is just the very least that you could do, man. Because at some point, yeah, you got to think about what kind of person is willing to donate this, and then think about the fact that Goodwill really put this out on the floor to be sold. Who is working here? Who? And it's not to say that the thrift store is completely just wrong for even selling it instead of trashing it, because no one's buying it. It is literally got hamster shit in it, bro. You'd better hope that the price for this mid-ass shirt that you would have seen your creepy teacher wearing at the school reunion be priced reasonably. Let's play a game, shall we? You want to play a game? Is this shirt $5.99, $8.99, hell, even $15.99? You dumb motherfuckers! You got it all wrong! $699.74. It's just, I am so sick of this topic having me stutter more than usual. I never stutter this much, man. This just has to be a mistake. It has to be a typo. Nope. This shirt is purposely priced at $699.74. Couldn't even waive the 74 cents, but they really needed that 74 cents. If thrifts think they're gonna continue business with people this way, they're so wrong. What was once relied upon by many has turned away people because of greed over anything. Am I right? Inflation and reselling is just a cop-out excuse for thrifts at this point, because we also have to take into account of the scale, just the mass amount that people are buying constantly, which is leading to the spike and the rise of the product that thrifts are receiving at the moment, or at least in this current day. Any thrift that you drive past at the moment, they are overflowing, and I do feel bad for them for that, because a lot of people genuinely do use thrifts as just a dumping site, and that is really disgusting. Maybe people should just teach themselves not to buy so much, and maybe they probably wouldn't have that problem. So the next time you see that somebody on your For You page is selling some vintage juicy couture for $699 and you think, wow, that bitch. You know what? I hate Depop resellers. Ew, there are constantly going to be pieces like that in circulation no matter what. Because if you look at these statistics here, there are just clothes to go around so many times over so many lifetimes. And it's only just going to continue to grow. So if you think that you're not finding cute clothes at thrifts because of resellers, it's literally probably because thrifts haven't gotten around to going through the plethora of that they're constantly being donated with. And on top of that, like the Shein inflation, I know that you, as someone who thrifts, has seen just the sheer amount of Shein. And anytime you think that you found something cute and you're just like, oh, but it's Shein. It's sad because that just turns a lot of people away from buying that piece in of itself, because you know it's shite quality. You know that on a night out, it's just going to possibly come undone, and there you go, public exposure charge. But something else that I don't really see people touching on is just the negative stigmas around people wearing things from the past, such as if you wore a shirt 5 years ago and it's still in your closet and you dust it off and you're like, wow, I remember this. I looked absolutely amazing in this. I'm gonna wear this today. And then you go on social media and someone's like, didn't you wear that literally like 5 years ago? Washing machines exist, Stacey, and some people don't grapple onto every single trend that comes out onto TikTok. Some people don't give a about micro trends. You know this thing that has been around my neck for, you wouldn't know, but I have had this choker on or tucked under other chokers since 2015. And no, I'm not taking it off anytime soon. Matter of fact, I will die wearing it. And do you know how many people have told me, Caitlin, like 2012 Tumblr card, they want their choker back. Oh my God, I'm literally from the 90s and everyone hated it then and I hate it now. Well, lucky none of y'all are wearing it. Lucky it's around my neck and not yours. And the reason what people say about this being ugly or whatever doesn't deter me from wearing it is because I literally just, I couldn't really give a to be quite honest. I like what I like, and if you don't, that is your opinion. You're allowed to have that. So yes, whilst thrift prices are absolutely out of control, at this stage, it's presenting itself to be corporate greediness. They operate wholly off of getting free shit. They are never losing anything with their business models, ever. The fact I even have to say this out loud is just so wild to me and shows really where we are in society. Second-hand clothing needs to become accessible again so that we have the chance to recycle clothing, give clothing lives that have none by wearing what's already out there so that we're not contributing to the mass production of clothes. But if this all continues this way for years to come, I fear that thrifts will be a contributing factor as to why people have to turn to terrible and cheap alternatives just so that they can wear something cute, just so that they can wear clothes in general. So with all of that being said, everyone, what are your thoughts and opinions on this? Because as somebody who thrifts, I haven't been in a couple months because honestly, it is cold. It is cold. So I'm just going to be wearing the same thing. It's chilly, mate. Anytime that I am to pass a thrift on the way to eating lunch or whatnot, there's just constantly dumped outside. You just take a quick peek in because of your morbid curiosity, even though it's not morbid. You just know, okay, I'm going to a thrift. It's gonna be expensive. So, so my question to you today is, have you been suffering thrift store prices? Have you been coming across insane prices at thrifts? Tell me all about it in the comments below. Thank you for your stay at Yappersville today, everybody. I cannot wait to see your pretty faces soon. Riz on 100. Take care of yourselves, and most of all, love your fucking selves.